Do good works get you to heaven? Do good works, are they enough to get you to heaven? I'm Pastor Brian. Welcome to this week's Midway, the middle of the week e-newsletter for Lifeway Community Church. In our community, the majority of people believe that good works will get you to heaven. In fact, about half of the professing Christians believe that good works will get you to heaven, and almost equal number believe that pretty much any religion will get you to heaven. Now, in our culture, in our community, the cross is the number one recognizable symbol there is. Everyone recognizes the symbol and connects it to Christianity. But what we're seeing is that while people recognize the cross, they don't understand the cross. And we know that clearly because people even self-professed Christians are saying that good works will get you to heaven and that there's nothing exclusive about the cross in Jesus. We're at a unique point in history and even within our community when we have amazing potential because the majority of the people around us, the majority of the people in our community don't know what the cross means. They don't understand the amazing grace of Jesus. That means that the majority of the people in our community are our potential. We are at a very unique time. And last Sunday, we looked at Jesus with Zacchaeus and then the Apostle Paul when he visited Athens. And the Apostle Paul, he looked around Athens. He had conversations with people. He listened to what was on their minds and what was on their hearts. And he saw what was going on in the city. And then he went and he used what he saw, particularly a shrine that they had, that they were hoping to just hedge their bets. And they're offering sacrifices, incense, and whatnot to just an unknown God. They wanted to make sure they covered all their bases and to the unknown God. And this is the shrine that the Apostle Paul uses to introduce the Athenians to Jesus. Because he says, that unknown God, let me tell you about him. He's the one I'm talking about. As we look at reaching our community for Christ, there's two important things we can see here, is that, like the Apostle Paul, we need to make sure that we are paying attention to our community, what matters to them, what speaks to their heart, and what is really on their minds. Secondly, like the Apostle Paul did with that shrine to the unknown God, we need to use a common language, a common culture that we can speak through, that we can use to communicate the gospel in a very easy way for people to understand. Now, does this mean that we have to water down the gospel or give anything up? Did the Apostle Paul? By no means. This just means that we might need to give up some of our extras that we like about church. This might mean that we have to give up some of our preferences, not the gospel, not the heart of what's going on here as Christians, but some of our preferences, some of the things that I want in the church. Those are the things that we're going to have to give up. Those are the things we're going to have to water down. But by no means does it mean watering down the gospel. So, two things that we can look at if we are for others. That's the big thrust from last Sunday, is that are we for others, and particularly our community, is that if we are, then we need to elevate what's important to them. And so we need to pay attention. Secondly, we need to elevate them by speaking in their heart language, speaking through a common culture, a common language. And so I asked for you for this next week, this coming Sunday, and I'm actually going to ask you to write it down and to post it. So make sure you're doing this. Pay attention this week and come back with one thing, one simple thing. Something that you observe in your time this week that matters to our community. Come back with one thing that you can share with our church that matters to our community. Because as we see in Scripture, it's those things that God uses to speak through to our community. So this Sunday, 10 a.m., we have our life groups hopping. 10 a.m., we have for all ages. 11 a.m., we have worship. Come with that one thing that matters to our community. And God willing, I'll see you then.